Risky behavior.
Boom, 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 boom. Let's see. Welcome to risky behavior. Oh shit, what is this video about? I've been seeing this lady. People been yelling at her ass. Kristan Hawkins versus VCU Pro Aborts Round 2 Q&A, Virginia Commonwealth University. I don't know nothing about abortion or pro-life. And so therefore I am going to watch this video and give my opinion. That's going to be wrong. But this is why this is risky behavior. It's not polite behavior.
Hi.
Hi.
So you said when you were talking to this person that unborn fetuses were citizens of the United States and they should be treated as such. Well, in in clause 1 of the 14th Amendment, it says all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and the states where they reside. So a fetus isn't born yet, so where are you getting this information that they're a
in the
citizen?
14th Amendment, it says that Congress can actually amend the 14th Amendment in terms of who is actually considered a citizen and a person. That's where we're getting that from, the pro-life movement. There's like a whole legal paper we have, but that's the
But where do you have information on, like, or sources on where they've actually
Well, you can go
amended
to,
it?
is it celebratelifeday.com? Yeah, nationalcelebratelifeday.com. We actually have a whole legal position paper
Asking you shall
from our
receive.
attorneys. I am not one. I just sometimes act like one. But no, from our attorneys talking about the 14th Amendment and where in the 14th Amendment actually says that Congress actually has the ability to change who the 14th Amendment specifically
I
applies
understand
to.
that Congress has the ability to change it. I'm asking when they have done so.
They, when they've done so, they haven't done so recently. Right.
But have they ever made
Well, yeah,
it?
women, right? Women are now.
Okay, but have they ever... Women have
Not to
always been
children.
citizens, but have they ever...
Not to children.
I'm asking, have they ever specifically
Here, I'll
said have that unborn fetuses are United States citizens?
No, they haven't. That's what we want them to do.
You had just made that claim earlier. I was just trying
Yeah,
to
they
clear
should
that up.
recognize them because we know these human beings are alive. We absolutely know they're alive, and we know they're human beings. And we actually, in several states right now, the pro-life movement's working to ensure that our laws actually become consistent with our pro-life beliefs, like child support, for example. Child support should actually begin at conception. It should not begin at birth. Tax benefits. So the state of Georgia, for example, is trying to enact this, where your write-offs. I just did all my taxes. It was not fun. But if you're pregnant, right now you can't write off your child. But the goal is, yeah, we should. In our tax code, we should.
I heard about that too. That is scary, right? Imagine you a guy and you down there getting put on child support. You like, I don't even know if that baby is mine. You better strap up out here now. Oh man. I'm telling you, man, all you young guys out there getting into this dating world and stuff like that and club life, you missed the good old days, man. Trip to the clinic will solve everything. Not no more. Hey, man, yeah, man. I'm on child support, man. Gotta, I didn't know you had a child, man. How old your baby? He's still in the stomach, baby. He ain't came out yet. Oh man, I wonder how would they do that? Cause I know because of I guess technology done got crazy. I did hear that you can actually get a paternity test while the child is still in the stomach and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. But I know at the time when I heard about it, this was some years ago, it was still risky. So I could assume that even then, if you requested something like that, it would still be up to the mother to say, am I willing to let you stick something inside of my body to see this? So I don't know how that's going to work, and is that going to be right? That's crazy. Yeah, because usually like they had this guy, right, and he found out that the child wasn't his, but see, he had already signed the birth certificate and everything. So even though he found out that he was not biologically the father, he is legally the father. So the judge was like, hey man, you on child support, dog. Like, you legally the parent, you got rights to the kid and everything. I mean, you shouldn't have signed the birth certificate. So I'm wondering, how is that going to work if there is no birth certificate to be signed? Because the child isn't in the world. That's crazy to me. That's scary to me. Ooh, I wonder. Maybe it could start at 8 months or something like that. I don't know, when you could test it, because when I heard about that procedure, I think it was around 7-8 months. They would stick something up in there, and they could take the DNA and tell you if you're the father or not, though. But that's crazy to me. I wonder how that's going to work. It's a whole new world.
Be consistent and recognizing across all forms of our laws that the child in the womb is a human being, and that human being does have the right to live and is a citizen.
Okay. Can I ask, you said you believe life begins at conception. You said you believe life begins at conception.
Proves that. Mm-hmm.
Okay, can you explain that science then?
Yeah, so I quoted earlier a University of Chicago study of more than 5,000 biologists, 85% of whom said they were Democrat and pro-choice, 95% of whom were PhDs from more than 1,000 academic institutions. 96% of them said that human life begins at fertilization, at conception, when sperm and egg unite, because that's when a whole unique human being comes into existence, a unique genetic code comes into existence that's never existed before and will never exist again.
Yeah, that's when new cells are formed.
Yes. That's when you became you.
I don't have any memory of that because I didn't have any consciousness till about the age of 18
but
months.
Consciousness doesn't make a human.
I mean,
when you're sleeping, you're no longer human. If you're in a coma, you're no longer
I still
human.
have REM sleep when I'm asleep, so I'm still having some form of
A
consciousness.
babies in the womb actually have REM sleep at 18 weeks.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're saying life begins at conception and
So like, if you're saying like, cause I'm like so smart, I shouldn't be up here even like talking to you. Like, these people get on my damn nerves, and I hate. And you'll see in this conversation, like, the lady keeps correcting her, right? She'll go, well, you're saying. And she's like, I'm not saying anything. The science is saying this. Science says it. Science says it. Especially if you're a person that watches true crime all the time. They had a young woman, right? And she went missing. And eventually they found her. They was trying to figure out what happened. Well, when they found her body and they went and did the autopsy, they discovered, they said, oh my goodness, she was pregnant. Oh, it's a baby in here. It wasn't a billy goat in there. It wasn't a frog. It was a human life in there. I think we have to be careful with these conversations and just accept the science of it, right? Because I seen another because when they found that woman's body and they did the baby and they were able to get all the DNA and stuff, they could figure out who the father was, and then they come up with the motive, and they solved the case because of things like this, because that's a human. It has its own It's its own self. It's a human. So they had another young lady. She was murdered, and she was pregnant, and they charged that father with double homicide. Now, if you are a victim of that, or you're a family of the victim, you wouldn't say then that, well, no, you know what, he shouldn't have double homicide because that wasn't no human. That was just a baby in the womb. It's a human. I don't care how you spin it, what your narrative is. It's a human. And she keeps trying to walk her down this path of tripping her up because she thinks this is a personal belief, and it's not. It's science. I can prove it. You can look it up yourself. It's human. It doesn't matter what stage it's in. Okay? You have people that are born. They got this one girl, I think she's in New York, but she's a model. And what's crazy about this is she doesn't have one of her legs, and like her some of her fingers are not developed, but she was born like that, where her leg she wasn't born with a leg. There's another young lady on Instagram, and she was born with no legs. It doesn't matter what stage of life you in, or if you have eyes or ears or anything. You're a human. You're a human. Because there's people born without the ability to hear, people born without eyes, people born without limbs. Do we say they're not human? So to sit there and say because of the stage that a baby is in the womb makes it not human or less human is weird to me, when you have people born, survive, and go their whole life without certain things that they were born without them. So it's a stupid argument to sit here and keep trying to take people down this path of, but is it life? Is it human? It's life. It's alive. It's growing. Silly. You're proving yourself wrong by saying, well, but in this stage, well, you can only say this stage because you know it's going to another stage, and dead things don't grow and develop. So it would have to be alive to go from stage to stage to stage to stage. And we can predict the stage to stage to stage to stage because it's a human, and we've seen it million time after million time after million time after million time. Why? Because it's a human. I don't know, but I'm stupid. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know. I just think this is a dumb thing. We know when life begins. And me personally, as a man, I think life begins in my nutsack. Because when it shoot out, they swimming. Dead things don't swim. I just solved the whole mystery right there. I'm a scientist.
Conscious doesn't have anything to do with life. How do you feel about people being taken off life support?
That's a good question. And I think that's one that's like hotly debated in terms of like when does actual death occur. Most people would say when there's no brain function, right?
Brain
like
activity.
When there's no brain function, or when the heart is no longer able to beat on its own. But
Usually life support is when they're brain dead. Usually the heart is still beating.
But I think most people, even people who disagree with me about preventing abortions at the moment of conception, I think most people, and we find this statistically in polls, would agree with us that, well, when a child's heart is beating, that's pretty indicative that that's a human being that's alive, that there is cardiac activity happening, and that's a human being, and that's life.
Well, there's cardiac activity happening in those who are brain dead, but obviously they have no life ahead of them. And I had asked how you felt about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I won't give you my opinion on when death happens because I think it's varying.
I mean, I think the beginning of life and the end of life are two similar
Well, no, I think
things.
it's different because
Why so?
does death occur, I think if you would have asked people like 20 years ago when death happens versus today, it actually probably changes because of life support and our ability to keep someone else's heart pumping while,
I mean, life support existed 20 years ago.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I think that changes because of our medical technology. I would say we know definitively, though, that life begins at the moment of conception because that's when something.
All right, man, I'm done watching this. I don't know how you compare a newborn baby to somebody that's brain dead. Down the line, you're an adult, you're brain dead, and we're keeping you alive in the hospital. That's two different things. I don't even know how you compare it. Here's my opinion. I don't care if you're pro-life or pro-abortion. The thing that disgusts me is when people are not honest about it. If you're going to get an abortion, but just call it what it is. Don't make up a lie to go along with it. Say it's not human, it's not alive, we don't know when life. No, we know when life starts. You know what you're doing. Have the balls to just do what you want to do and say, hey, I want to do this because I ain't ready to be a parent or whatever. But quit lying and dragging the conversation because it makes no damn sense. We know it's life. Cool. But say that you have the right because it's in your body that you make the ultimate decision and live with that decision. But don't try to lie and convince the rest of us that it's not what it is. Most people that have to go through that don't feel good about it. It's not an easy decision to make for anybody. I don't think I ever seen anybody coming out there just, guess what I did today? But then you have these other people that come on here and because they can't justify it without saying that it's not real life. And that's the problem that they're having. You need someone that can be honest about what abortion is, honest about the fact that this is a life, and find a way to justify it without lying about what you're actually doing. That's just my opinion. Anyway, man, y'all subscribe, like, share, comment underneath. Let me know what y'all think. Risky behavior. Out.
Risky behavior.